everyone, Black Ops 6 releases very soon, and as usual, zombies is going to be my #1 priority. Now, real quick, they stated that they changed the atmosphere a bit for Liberty Falls, which made it a little more gloomy looking. Now, regardless of how you feel about how it looks, this is a major change for zombies. They were completely receptive to all the feedback, and actually made an attempt to fix what we were talking about. That level of communication and actually being heard is amazing, and I hope to see more receptiveness like it in the future. Now, getting into the video, I want to highlight everything you should know before you start playing the zombies mode. I'll have timestamps regarding everything I talk about, so if you want to avoid getting spoiled on certain things, please be sure to look at the description. I'll also have it in the pinned comments with, all the timestamps listed. So I actually split the section talking about the augments into its own complete video, because of just how long this video would be otherwise. There's a link in the description, in the pinned comment, and at the end of the video, to my video going over every single augment and everything you need to know about them. Now, this next bit I want to go over is just some basic features and a bunch of other info. So, starting with the HUD, there are some presets and you're supposed to be able to customize it yourself, but I'm not 100% sure how true that is, since we really haven't seen a whole lot about the feature since it was announced. But we have gotten confirmation that you will be able to remove the metal pop-ups and the score feed, which I assume the means whole plus 110 elimination thing that would pop up in Cold War whenever you got a kill, and a few other things. Now, a big one being that the minimap can now be completely removed, which I know was a huge gripe for people in Cold War, and you can also remove health bars from enemies if you'd like. They also added a character portrait to the bottom left, which is a neat feature that adds a little more personality to the HUD. Now, one of the best features in my opinion is the return of weapon kits, which if you've played Black Ops 3 or 4, then you kind of remember how it worked. But basically, you can customize all the weapons in-game before getting into a match. Then, when you get into a match, the wall weapons and box weapons will all have the preset attachments and camos that you put on them in the weapon kit. Now, the reason I love this so much is that they eventually added a similar feature in Cold War, but you had to pause and apply the blueprint, which felt so weird and immersion breaking in that game, so I'm glad that they added the weapon kit system back. And on top of that, the wonder weapons are apparently going to be part of the weapon kits, which presumably is just so that you can apply camos and stuff like that to them, or skins that you get for completing the main Easter egg quest, because yes, completing the main Easter egg quest does get you actual rewards. But I don't think the wonder weapons are going to have actual attachments. That'd be kind of strange. Now, speaking on that a bit more, the way you'll actually get some of these wonder weapon camos and all that is, like I said, completing the Easter eggs on those maps. And I assume they'll also eventually sell some different wonder weapon camos and stuff like that in bundles, which is kind of a given. Also, weapon rarities are back in the game, so legendary weapons are going to do most of the damage. Personally, not too big of a fan of weapon rarities, but hopefully it's better in this game than it was in Cold War. And same thing with loadouts, where you'll basically select what gobblegums, weapon, and melee weapon, and field upgrade you'll be bringing into the match. Now, something else I want to cover is that there's a dedicated crew for zombies. There are 4 main characters, Carver, Weaver, Gray, and the new character Maya. Now, when you load into zombies, you have the option of playing as a random operator, like Klaus or Brutus that you could get, or you can play as one of the 4 dedicated zombie characters to get more of an enhanced experience. However, that enhanced experience at the moment is exclusive to Terminus, as Liberty Falls doesn't have a set crew since it takes place at the same time as Terminus, and it just wouldn't make sense with the timeline and all that. But this enhanced experience is pretty much just going to be like quotes between the characters talking to each other, quotes about them talking about their environment, and just more of an in-depth look at like the world of zombies again. Now, another important thing to note is that there's going to be a guided mode to help you with the Easter egg quest, but that will not be available on launch until a few weeks after. I believe when Season 1 comes out, it'll be active. And that's purely to preserve the sanctity of the Easter egg hunt. And for future maps, there will also be a few weeks in between the release of the guided mode and the actual map release. And speaking of future maps, we're also confirmed to be getting a brand new map before the end of the year, on top of the 2 maps we already have on launch. We got confirmed DLC 1 before the game came out, which is insane and super exciting. Now, back to the Easter egg bit. There are actual rewards for completing the Easter egg, like I said before. However, you also get additional rewards for completing it before the guided mode for that map comes out. So once the guided mode releases, those rewards won't be available anymore. Now, I believe they're going to be exclusive calling cards that you get, but once again, they're only available before the guided mode for their respective maps come out. After the guided mode's out, you can't get those calling cards anymore, so just keep that in mind. Now, the last thing for this section is the save feature. It'll only work in solo when you save and quit a match, and you only have 1 save slot. If you want to play another match while you have a game in your save slot, you're fine to do that, but you can't save that match unless you delete the other match from the save slot. You can, I believe, overwrite the save slot you currently have when you're in another match. So if you're like, oh, I like this match more than my currently saved one, I believe you can overwrite that previously saved one with that current match. But once again, you can only have one save slot. Next, let's get into the whole camo grind kind of topic. Now, to start, there's going to be 33 total weapons on launch. The breakdown of them goes like this: 7 ARs, 6 SMGs, 2 shotguns, 3 LMGs, 4 marksman rifles, and 3 snipers. 25 primaries total. Next, there's 4 pistols and 2 launchers, which adds up to 6 secondaries. And then to end off, we have 2 melee weapons, and here's a chart showing the level you unlock each weapon. Now, the most important thing to note is camos are not level locked, meaning you don't have to get a weapon to max level in order to get it gold. I do believe, however, that you need to have the weapon itself unlocked via your player level, but that's yet to be confirmed. Now, each game mode, Zombies, Multiplayer, and even Warzone, have their own specific set of challenges. We don't know what all the challenges are, but we do know the number of them and what the military camos will be. So, to start, each weapon is going to have 9 military camos, 2 unique camos, and 4 mastery camos. The military camos will work like milestone camos, so like 100 critical kills for the first camo, then 250 and so on. I don't know the exact numbers, but the confirmation that we did get is that the critical kills will be the challenge for the military camos in Zombies. Now, another thing to note is that these military camos can be equipped onto any gun, but only if the other gun you're trying to apply the camo to has that same camo tier unlocked. So, for example, if you get the first 3 military camos on the C9 or something, you can't apply any of those 3 military camos to the Jackal PDW until you've also unlocked the first 3 military camos on the Jackal PDW. Now, I'm not sure if this applies across game modes, but I do believe it has to be the same name military camo. Now, once you complete all the necessary critical kills and get all the 9 military camos, you unlock access to the special camos. Now, these special camos, or unique camos as I called them earlier, are going to have challenges specific to the weapon you're using, and they can only be unlocked after completing all 9 military camos. Now, once again, these camos can be applied to any gun, as long as the other gun you're trying to apply the camo to has gained access to the special camos in at least one of the 3 game modes, so this does work across game modes. Now, after completing all 9 military and both unique special camos, you unlock the mastery section. Now, you can unlock the gold camo, which in Zombies is called Mystic Gold, once you have the mastery section unlocked, and then complete the challenge associated with it. The same applies for the next mastery tier, Opal. However, you need to have access to the mastery section and have gold unlocked on whatever required number of guns it is. For example, since Opal is taking the place of the diamond camos, if you're working on ARs, then you'll need to have Mystic Gold on every single AR, and then complete the Opal camo challenge. And then after that, you have to do the same thing for the tier above that, Afterlife. However, instead of needing to have Mystic Gold, you'll need to have Opal on every single weapon, not just the category of weapons. So, after that, you'll gain access to the camo challenge for Afterlife, and completing that challenge will unlock that camo for that weapon. Now, the final Mastery camo works just like the Afterlife camo, but you'll also need to complete the Afterlife camo on every single gun, and then the Nebula Mastery camo challenge, which is different from last year in MWZ, where you unlock the final Mastery camo after completing all the Tier 3 camo challenges. There wasn't really a Borealis camo challenge that you needed to do, you just kind of just unlocked it after getting all the previous camos. Now, lastly, there are reticle sight challenges. Basically just changes whatever the little reticle icon in the center of your sight is. There's challenges for every reticle across all 3 modes. The reticles aren't weapon specific, but are specific to whatever sight you're using. So for example, the red dot sight challenges will only unlock new red dot sight reticles for the red dot sight. I'm personally not all that interested in that. Now, I had almost completely forgotten about this, but gobblegums. No spoilers yet, I'm just going to cover how they work, but I won't talk about any effects till the next section. So, we've been confirmed so far to have 28 of them on launch. 7 rare, 7 epic, 7 legendary, 5 ultra, and 2 whimsical. The way you'll unlock these gobblegums is by just playing the game. I believe you have a chance to get a random gobblegum every single round you pass, and there's even supposed to be a pop-up that appears when you do. You'll also have the ability to buy these gobblegums with real money, which isn't surprising, but I don't really care all too much since it's a PvE mode. Now, keep in mind, all these gobblegums are completely earnable the second you start up the game. You don't have to be a certain level to earn them. Now, you can select which gobblegums you're bringing into the match by selecting them in your loadout. I think I remember hearing that you'll be able to swap gobblegum packs in-game, just as you could with field upgrades in Cold War, which, side note, that's also supposed to be able to work for field upgrades in this, but I'm not 100% certain on that, so I'll take that with a grain of salt. Now, when you're in-game, you can get Gobblegums from the Gobblegum machines on the map, and you can hold up to 3 at a time and activate them when you want to. Now, I'm not entirely sure how the conditional ones work, if you have to have them active first, and then once the condition's met, they'll go off, or if once the condition's met, they'll activate immediately if they're in your, inventory. Also, since Black Ops 6 is online at all times, you can't just dashboard to save the Gobblegums you used. Once you activate them, they're completely taken from your in-game inventory and your account inventory, so there's no way to save scum that. Now, spoilers ahead, here are all the new Gobblegums and their effects. Starting off with the rares. The first one is Stock Option. It lasts 1 minute. Ammo will be taken from your stockpile inside your weapons magazine, so you pretty much just don't have to reload while using it. Killjoy, which will just spawn an insta-kill when you activate it. Anywhere but here, which will instantly teleport you to a random location and will cause a concussive blast, which will knock away nearby zombies. Cashback, which will spawn a max ammo for you. Temporal Gift, which basically just makes power-ups last longer, so if you pick up a double point or something like that, it'll last twice as long. Next is Shields Up, which lasts 3 minutes. Your armor will be twice as strong. Arsenal Accelerator, which lasts 5 minutes, will charge up your field upgrade faster. Next, going through the epic Gobblegums, we have Nowhere But There, which will instantly teleport you to a random downed player and instantly revive all nearby players. And there's Who's Keeping Score, which will spawn a double points. Free Fire, which lasts 60 seconds and will just allow you to fire weapons without using any ammo. However, this does not work with wonder weapons. Next, there's Soda Fountain, which will activate on a perk purchase. The next perk purchase gives an additional random perk. I don't believe it'll work the same as it did in Black Ops 3. I think the way this is going to work is it's just going to be one-time use. Next is Profit Sharing, which lasts 2 minutes. A portion of the essence you earn is also received by nearby players and vice versa. So basically, being around your allies while you guys are getting points will be extremely beneficial. After that, there's Respin Cycle, which respins the weapon in the mystery box after it has settled to one of equal or higher rarity. So if you get a blue gun in the mystery box and you use respin, you have a chance to get either a epic, rare, or a legendary weapon, but you can't get any lower rarity than was currently from the first box. Lastly, we have Exit Strategy, which will activate the exfil vote immediately and reduces the zombie spawns during the exfil. Now, I think this one's going to be particularly good for if you want to exfil and there's no exfil up at the moment, because it'll only spawn on intervals of 5, I believe. I think the first one around 10, then 15, then 20, stuff like that. So if you're on around 27 and you want to exfil, you can use this Gobblegum and then bam, you can start an exfil. Next, we'll be going through the legendary Gobblegums, starting with Idolize, which lasts 30 seconds. All zombies will ignore the player and stand idle. Then we have Wall Power, which will activate on your next wall buy. The next weapon bought off a wall becomes Pack-a-Punched. Then we have Crate Power, which is the same as Wall Power, but for mystery boxes, it activates on a mystery box spin. The next weapon taken from the mystery box becomes Pack-a-Punched. And then you have Phoenix Up, which revives all teammates and they keep their perks. Then we have On the House, which spawns a perk can power up, which will give a free perk to everybody in the game. And then Wall-to-Wall Clearance, which lasts 30 seconds. Wall buys will only cost 10 essence. And the last one is Immolation Liquidation, which spawns a Fire Sale power-up. Next, we've got the Ultra Gobblegums, which includes Perkaholic, which gives the player all the perks on the map. Near-Death Experience, which lasts 3 minutes. Revive or be revived simply by being near other players. Revived players keep all their perks. Then there's Hidden Power, which will upgrade your currently held weapon to legendary rarity. Next is Wonder Bar, which will activate on the next mystery box spin. The next weapon you get from the box will be a wonder weapon. So this could be one of the brand new wonder weapons from Terminus or Liberty Falls, or the ray gun or something. After that, we have Raindrops, which is the final ultra, and it will spawn all core power-ups at once. Now lastly, we have 2 whimsical Gobblegums with Newtonian Negation, which lasts 3 minutes. Zombies killed will fall straight up. Indigestion. Zombies killed will experience extreme flatulence. This will also last 3 minutes. So yeah, these don't really do anything. They're just kind of meant to be fun little Gobblegums. So I wouldn't really be too worried about using them up if you get them from your gum packs or anything like that. Now, one of the last things I want to talk about is how to play the game early. So supposedly, around Thursday morning, 7, 8 a.m., you'll be able to play Black Ops 6. Now, before I get into that, I want to say you won't be able to hunt the main Easter egg quest early if you do this. They'll be deactivated until 1 p.m. Eastern Time on October 25th. But as for playing the game early, allegedly, you'll be able to play the game early on consoles if you change your location to New Zealand. And I've also heard you're required to set your COD account to New Zealand, but I'm not 100% positive on that. And as for PC players, I've heard that the only way is to join a friend's game session. So if they just so happen to quote-unquote live in New Zealand, joining them would bypass that check. But of course, I can't guarantee any of this will work, as you obviously can't test it out yet. But you should be able to roughly the day after this video is out, or the day that this video is out. So, I was going to end the video there, but as I was working on the script, they released a bunch of information on prestiges that I want to cover. So, let's start with the basics. Your player level will transfer across all 3 game modes. Not sure how that's going to work with the game mode, like Warzone, but I assume that'll get a level reset or something. But if you prestige in zombies, that prestige will also carry over into multiplayer and Warzone. Now, one important thing is that you don't lose any weapon progression when you prestige. This includes weapon level, weapon camos, and attachments. Now, let's get into some other things. For starters, there are supposed to be actual rewards to prestiges, as opposed to just the permanent unlock tokens and a new prestige icon. If you don't want to see any of the rewards, click off now, since there's nothing else beyond this point, aside from some information and the rewards. So far, they've only released the Prestige 1 rewards, but yeah, I appreciate that you've watched up to this point, but if you don't want to get spoiled, just click off now. Have a good day. Alright, so let's go over the Prestige 1 rewards. For starters, the second you prestige, you hit level 55, go to your barracks, and then prestige from there. Now it says the first prestige icon is animated. Now I'm not sure entirely if that means that it's animated like in the lobby, or if you get it as an additional emblem thing, and it's animated there, but we'll kind of have to see when the game comes out. And the other instant reward that you unlock just immediately as soon as you prestige is the Knocked Raider Weaver skin. Now the rest of the rewards you have to actually earn by leveling up. For example, at Prestige 1 level 10, you get a Doris loading screen. At level 20, you get a Perk-a-Cola Gobblegum pack, which will include a Perkaholic on the house, soda fountain, who's keeping score, and stock option. Now keep in mind you only get this if you have Black Ops 6. So if you're playing Warzone, you won't get any of that. And at Prestige 1 level 30, you get the Zombie Breach animated emblem, which is, once again, another animated emblem. At Prestige 1 level 40, you get an insta-kill power-up charm. So the little golden skull that you'd get from, insta-kill, you get that as a charm that you can apply to your weapons. And at level 50, you get a Teddy is a Liar C9 blueprint. So you only get this if you have Black Ops 6. So if you're playing Warzone, you once again won't get this. Now, as for some of the future prestiges, we're giving a little teaser image showing off some of the future skins and rewards. And we're also giving some item descriptions, so I'll put that on screen now if you're interested in reading it. It just adds some context to the potential themes of these prestige rewards and all that. And they also tease some of the master prestige rewards, such as the skin and a blueprint. Now, you unlock the skin instantly as soon as you hit master prestige, and you get the animated blueprint at level 90. Now, once you reach prestige 10, and then level past 55, you immediately enter master prestige, and your level cap is raised up to 1,000. You're not reset to level 1 again, you're at level 56 now, and you kind of climb up to 1,000 from there. Now, there are also supposed to be more milestone rewards. I assume at intervals of 10 up until like level 100 or something like that, considering you get the blueprint at level 90, but there's no real confirmation on any of that yet. Now, upon reaching level 100, you can change your prestige icon to some of the older game icons, and you unlock them all in intervals of 100. So you get access to all the older game prestige 1 icons at level 100, and so on, up until level 1000. Once you reach level 1000, you reach all past games prestige icons, including the ones for prestige like 20 and up. I know Cold War had more than 10 prestiges, so you get all the rest of those icons. That's pretty much the general gist of it, and that's all the information I can think of. Please let me know if I forgot anything. The game was out in 6-7 hours in New Zealand, so if you're doing that method, the game's going to be out very, very soon. I tried to remember anything I could, but yeah. I hope you found this video useful or something like that. I'll post some zombies when the game's out, but that's about it. Have a great rest of your day. Adios.